Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talent Edit Sessions. And today we have our guest, Miss Shireen Heather, with us. Assalamu alaikum, Miss. Hope
Walaikum
you're doing
salam.
well.
Yes, I am. I hope you're doing well too.
I'm doing fine, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for joining us, Miss.
Thank you for
And
having me.
First of all, I would like to tell you a few things about Ms. Shireen. She has graduated from North City School of Arts and she has a major in miniature painting and a minor in sculpture. And right now she's teaching arts at the Generations School. So welcome to the show. And Ms. Please tell us about yourself, that how you came into this field, and were you always passionate about it, or did your interest grew afterwards, like in adolescence or something? Please tell us about yourself.
Okay, so I think with arts, I've always had an interest. Definitely, I've always had an interest. I've always been exceptionally well compared to my age group. That's talking like third grade, fourth grade. And I would usually get a lot of compliments, a lot of encouragement, not just from at home, not just parents, but students, my classmates, teachers, especially teachers. I think that's really important that teachers encourage students. And they always did. I think throughout all my schooling, teachers have always recognized my artwork and they've always promoted it and they've always told my parents about it. So yeah, I think because of that, my parents were also agreed that yes, she does have a talent and skills and creativity. So that's why I just came into the art field.
Okay, that's great. You're absolutely right. Teachers, when they appreciate, and that really motivates students. When they some you get appreciation on something from your teachers, from your seniors, from your peers. That's really
Mm.
important. So you're absolutely right. Miss, we would like to know about, like, where do you get your inspiration from? Like, whatever you're creating, whatever you're painting. So where do you get your inspiration from?
I think you can get inspiration from anything and everything, just life in general. People talking to people, conversations, people, stuff people say to you. Sometimes things just really click. And sometimes you can make like a whole picture in your mind of the story that they're telling and they're expressing and how they're feeling. Okay, so it's not just me, but everything I see around me, the internet, people, just life in general, everything happening around me, everything is an inspiration.
Okay, that's perfect. So I would like to show our audience some of your artwork, if you allow me to, please. And please explain us, like, what have you drawn, and what have you painted, and what does that mean? It's really interesting. Okay, so this is the first picture, and please tell us about something about it, like what is it and what is it portraying.
Okay, so my thesis, this is part of my thesis, and there was a series of work. I think there were
Okay.
6 paintings. They were all on
Mhm.
miniatures, they're mixed media on Wesley,
Mhm.
right? And they have a very
Okay.
illustration type of look to them. And that's what typically miniature
Okay.
style is. It's a very illustration kind of look. What I've shown here, and basically what my whole thesis was about, was that insects, basically, and insects, their characteristics and the way they live in a community and the like just those characteristics that insects have and how they compare to us as a society and us as people and how we interact with each other and how we interact with money over here. And this is actually about uh, how we use money. It's actually about it's termites, right? It's just that they're just eating, 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 right? Because termites have this characteristic that they just eat away at wood. They don't really know the value of what they're eating. They just eat, eat, eat. And I've compared that with how humans treat money nowadays, that they just eat, 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 and they don't really appreciate and they don't really value what money actually is.
Yeah, this is very much, deep. Some people are, not able to understand. What about this one?
This one is it is about women, actually. This one is about women, and actually, the fruit that I've used here, the pomegranate, is actually a symbol of fertility. And the insects that I've drawn here, they're
Mm-hmm.
they're actually they have this characteristic that whenever they are going to mate, they actually shed their wings, right? And they somehow lose their freedom, right? When they
Okay.
lose their wings, they're sort of losing their freedom, right? So I've kind of
Mm-hmm.
compared that with women and sexuality and all of that.
Okay, that's nice. So we have
This one,
another. Yeah.
that's actually my sister, but it has nothing to
Oh,
do with her. She was just my model. But this is actually
alright.
about moths, right, and how they adapt. That is actually the title of my work as well. You can see that there are
Okay.
moths there that they have camouflaged really well into the leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
they're almost unrecognizable, right? That you can't really tell them apart. And also, humans, we have that characteristic that we tend to blend into our environment to feel involved and to feel like we are a part of the society.
Okay, that's great. You have done a great job, I must say, Miss Shiri.
Thank you.
So, I would like to ask one thing, जिस तरह की like आपने paintings वगैरह बनाई हैं, they have got this deep message inside them. And do you think that our society, like the people we have around us, they're able to easily understand all of this? Like just by seeing it, just by having a first look, do they understand it that easily, or is it difficult to convey?
I think it definitely takes a trained eye. I think you have to be familiar with symbolism and that it's not just a bunch of pictures and it's not just, like keede makode chal rahe hain. It's not just that, right? You have to have a trained eye and you have to really kind of stand there and look at it. But the fact that people, even who don't have it like knowledge or a trained eye, they will look and they will try to understand, even if they don't know what the answer is or don't know what the picture is, that it sparks some sort of thinking process, some creativity in their mind that what could it mean. And I think that's what makes good artwork, and that's important.
All right. So, what do you think? What do you think is necessary to promote, to aware people about this kind of knowledge, and to give people knowledge about arts, especially because in our society, people don't, we don't have that much awareness about it, about different kind of arts and what they are, displaying and things, stuff like that. हम लोगों के यहाँ पे इतना ज़्यादा लोगों को इस बारे में बिल्कुल भी समझ नहीं है, and they are not, they are not try, they don't even try to understand. They're like कि नहीं नहीं बस ये ठीक है. So what do you think कि इस टाइप की हमारा जो mindset है, इसको हमें किस तरह से हम कैटर कर सकते हैं और किस तरह से इसको खत्म किया जा सकता है, इसको मतलब mentality को change किया जा सकता है?
I think a lot of artwork people generally see, the people who are not, in that interested, or they're just walking by and they just see artwork like this, or on the internet or somewhere like that. I think it's important that along with the artwork, we share the story behind that artwork, right? Because every artwork has a huge story. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of personal characteristics of the artist themselves that is in the artwork. I think that part of the artwork also needs to be promoted so that the artwork itself can be appreciated.
All right, that's perfect. And another thing I would like to ask is that there are institutes, there are schools who are teaching arts. Students go over there and they are taught how to, create things and all. So, do you think artists, इस तरह से artists बन सकते हैं institutes जाके and इस पढ़ के art कुछ पढ़ने वाला है कुछ उसके अंदर or is it inborn? What do you
I
think?
think I think definitely. I think the biggest misconception of people is that they don't treat art like any other subject. And that is exactly what it is. Art takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of observation. It is actually building all these skills, and you build them with every other subject. You build them with math, you build them with science, all right? And that is important, to look at art like it is any other subject, okay, and treat it like any other subject. And you put in effort, and you put in time, and you put in, all your concentration into your work, and really dedicate yourself to the work that you're doing, and not just coloring.
All right, Miss. So Okay. So that's you are perfectly right. You're absolutely right. बिल्कुल dedication is very much important, and I think perfection dedication से और बिल्कुल उसी तरह से आ सकती है if you are very much enthusiastic about it and not just doing it like हाँ ठीक है
Mm-hmm.
बस कर लेंगे.
Mm-hmm.
So you are absolutely right about it. So Miss, is there anyone you idealize as an artist? Is there any artist you idealize that you think that some person who has done great job and you want that level you want to reach?
I have so many artists that came into my mind. Like when you asked me that, I have so many great miniature artists of Pakistan that just came into my mind. Ali Kazim, there's Imran Qureshi, there's so many people. But out of all of those famous, qualified, recognized international artists, I think the person that has inspired me the most has been my teacher, actually. And it is because of her that I have, stepped out. And I was actually quite shy. I was quite reserved. And to be able to bring that out of people, that you are capable, you can do it, and, really build up that confidence in people, I think that's amazing. And for her, I mean, for her to have all those, capabilities, I admire her the most as an artist. And she is an artist. Out of all of the famous international artists, I have my utmost respect for Miss Saima. I really do.
Okay, that's perfect. You're right, Miss. Actually, teachers, most of them, sometimes teachers are like, teachers discourage people, teachers discourage students
Yeah.
sometimes कि नहीं आर्ट में क्या रखा है,
Mm.
go for engineering or go for commerce or go for medical science, and that's really disheartening for the ones who have really good passion और फिर parents को भी convince करना पड़ता है and it's difficult. So you're
That's true.
absolutely right. When people are supportive around you, it becomes very easy to excel in some field. तो मिस आपको क्या लगता है कि हमारे जो आजकल के आर्टिस्ट हैं उनको लाइक उनके लिए क्या कुछ मैसेज आप दीजिए कि उनको किस टाइप का लाइक कैसे अपना पैशन फॉलो करना चाहिए कुछ टिप्स वगैरह इफ यू वांट टू गिव देम.
Emerging artists, the people who have just stepped into the field, I would
या.
definitely tell them to go out and visit galleries. I think that is important. I think artists are sometimes too caught up with me, and what am I doing, and my skills and my style, forming my own style. I think you need to recognize other people's style and take inspiration from other artists and the way they are doing and the way they are progressing. I think that is very important to have research based work.
Okay, yeah, that's a really great advice. This another thing in our society, like in Pakistan, इतना ज़्यादा आर्ट्स का जो है वो रुझान नहीं है. So do you think कि like government is doing a fine job in promoting, you know, the things like promoting arts, or do you think that कुछ ज़्यादा इससे होना चाहिए कि जो है वो जिससे हमारे आर्टिस्ट को
I
सपोर्ट किया जा सके?
I feel in the past 10 years that art has progressed quite a bit in Pakistan. And I'm not talking about just fine arts, I'm talking about graphics, film, right? This part of arts, I think it's progressed quite a lot. There's such a huge demand of graphic artists all of a sudden, right? I don't think the government has a lot to do with that, right? But I think people are beginning to definitely recognize the value and what it brings to companies and organizations, and to be able to put your concept out there creatively. I think people are definitely beginning to understand the value of art through these different things. So it's good. I am seeing a progress. I do. But I feel like for fine art, especially, I think there's a lot more that needs to be done. I don't see that happening as much. I don't see people promoting it as much. I do know a lot of senior artists, Gulji especially. He does promote artists and emerging artists, and he's quite supportive of them. And I think that's great. But not a lot of senior artists are doing that for everyone. And they really need to do that, right? The senior artists, especially, they need to help promote all the emerging students and emerging artists that are coming up into the field.
Some of you, like, what do you think are the ways we can help the artists, emerging artists? I mean, how can we promote? What do you think are the ways to promote an artist?
I think that definitely just everybody just needs a platform to be able to share their work, right? Not every artist can make a portfolio and go to a gallery and have the gallery display their work, right? They're quite selective of who they promote and what they want to display, right? And that's sometimes I see a lot of great artists doing really great work, creating amazing skills and everything, but that they don't get promoted through these galleries. So I think just having a platform, it could be online, it could be anywhere, just somehow get a platform and display their work to the whole public. I think that's really important. That's something all artists need.
You're absolutely right, and that's the very reason we have created this platform, Talent Edit, for all the artists who are like who really want to showcase their work to all the like to the world, and they want to tell the people about their how they're expressing emotions and how they're expressing creativity.
Hmm.
So this Talent Edit is for the main purpose is that. So, moving forward, the one thing I would like to ask is, do you think artists are like more sensitive than the common people? Like people are like कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा sensitive होते हैं and वो बहुत चीज़ों को बारीकी से देखते हैं. तो क्या ऐसा होता है कि like normal artists ज़्यादा बारीकी से देखते हैं और जो normal लोगों से?
Yeah, I would not exactly use the word sensitive because I feel like that's going on like a different path. I think it's almost negative, right? Sensitive, you're too
Okay.
sensitive, right? So I would never use that word. By sensitive, if you mean that they are more perceptive, yes, they are definitely more perceptive. They're more open-minded. They have better observational skills. And yes, definitely artists do. And that is a skill that they have developed, that they have been taught in school to do, because that is what makes great artwork.
All right. All right. So, what do you think could be the specific word other than um, you know, sensitive?
Sensitive, I would say more perceptive, definitely more perceptive. They notice a lot more than what normal people do. And that's exactly what we're trained to do. That's how we do. We improve our observational skills.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so perceptive is the word. So finally, what are you like? Are you working on some exhibition kind of thing? Are you trying to do something like that? Please tell us about, any projects if you're doing in future or right now in present.
I currently don't. I actually do a lot of freelance work when I can, if I can. The thing about me doing freelance is I do not take up a project unless I can deliver 100%. I will not take it up, right? Uh, but because of like my job currently and the situation right now, I think this whole past year I have been quite busy and been unable to take up any projects or do anything like that. So maybe inshallah in the future I do hope that I come up with more opportunities to do more artwork.
Okay, inshallah, we hope that you come up with more opportunities, great opportunities,
Inshallah.
and inshallah. So thank you so much, Miss, for joining us. It
Thank
was
you.
great talking to you, and we
Likewise.
came to know about so many things. And I really hope that the new generation, the coming generation, उनके perceptions change होंगे और हम उन्हें ज़्यादा बेहतर platform दे सकेंगे
Hmm.
अपनी creativity को express करने के लिए और एक अच्छा mindset उनके पास available होगा इंशाल्लाह. So thank you so much for joining us, and it was great having you. And
Hmm.
we hope to have another session with you, inshallah, soon.
Sure, that'd be
So
great.
thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and see you in the next session. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.